Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. At the end of the last episode, we started to pull out these kitchen units and IH heater. If you haven't done so already, please hit the stuff down below. And today we hope to get rid of this counter, and if we have time, get started on removing this wall. Before I do this, I actually need to check if it's a supporting wall. In the meantime, let's continue getting rid of this kitchen wall and this counter. What you see here is an upright, they call it a 4x2, but in Japan the measurements are in millimeters. It's just a case of getting this off, and usually they're held together with nails rather than screws. These whole wall panels are usually put together as a frame by the construction workers and then put into place and attached to the floor and the ceiling. So often the nails are facing into the wood, which makes it a little difficult to get out bit by bit. But yeah, a good crowbar gets the work done. Then it's time to actually remove this plywood panel. Not bothering taking any of the tiles off. I'll break those off at a later date. Again, it's one enormous piece of plywood, and this is nailed to the 4x2's framework behind it. On the reverse side of this wall, there is a power socket. So first I needed to check out the wiring for that, which direction it was going in, so that I can remove the opposite side. And in case you're wondering, I did cut the power to this circuit before doing this. These panels on this side are held onto the wooden framework with pin nails. The construction workers would have used a pin nailer. They can be kind of lethal because they're extremely sharp, and it's a good idea to remove them as you go along. Otherwise you'll end up with lots of cuts and scratches. Following morning, I came back to remove this top panel. I had to be a little bit careful because there's a cable running here. Again, I'd already cut the power to this area, so to make it a little bit safer, it was just a case of removing the wood around the cable and then a bit of brute force to remove it. Moving on next to the counter panels. These again were attached in the same way as the top panels. It's just a case of getting something in between the framework and the panel and removing each of those. Once all of the framework and structure had been revealed, it was time to start taking out the rest of these upright 4x2s. Because they're nailed from the top, really the only way I could get these to start moving was to actually cut below the nails and then just lever each of them out. These leave some enormous nails sticking directly upwards, so I found it's always a good idea to actually get a hammer on them and bend them over just in case you step down, and they would go straight through the bottom of any shoe or boot into your foot, which is not good. Coming down to the counter area now, these are 6x2s, so they're a bit beefier construction. Again, it's a case of just cutting below the nails and levering them out and knocking over these nails, make sure that they're not a danger. You can see how strong this construction is generally. There's only two little supports really for this entire wood piece at this point. And I came back to take out the last of the 4x2 from the wall surface, and it's still standing. After taking out one of the final 6x2s, the end of the counter started to drop. This is actually a big solid piece of wood with a laminate coating, and it's extremely heavy, so I had to be careful it didn't just drop. And finally, the counter was out. The end supports for this actually went into the wall studs, so that I'm left with just one 4x2 upright to take out. That's the last upright out. Then I had to remove the countertop outside and remove the structure from the ceiling area. And this is kind of difficult because the structure was originally nailed and then put into place, so the nails are coming downwards. Dashi's on hand to check everything's going okay. What you see here is the remaining frame structure base. It goes through into the floor. I of course have to be very careful because of the water pipes coming up through the floor very nearby. Decided to cut the wood around the water pipes before trying to lift this panel. The last thing I needed was another water leak. And that's the final piece. And here's the kitchen mostly cleared. Unfortunately, I have an enormous pile of wood. Some of it may be recyclable, but a lot of the 4x2s have big nails sticking out of them. And of course, I still need to remove this wall panel here with the tiles. And that's the whole kitchen gone. I still need to make some decisions about this wall and do a little bit of research. As I said earlier, it could be a supporting wall, which means I can't take it out. But first, I need to remove this air conditioner. It's very old anyway, and will need to come out. It, of course, runs outside. If you look very closely there, you see a shot of Dash watching what I'm doing. The main unit with the compressor and the refrigerant is, of course, situated outside. So let's get to work removing this unit from the wall. A lot of it is plastic with filters and little motors inside to direct the airflow. It's not too much of a problem to get these off the wall. It's not heavy. Once most of the pipes are disconnected, you're left with a metal plate which is attached to the wall and holds the whole thing in place. Next up, it was time to remove these two glass sliding doors from their tracks. The one on the left came out really easily. The one on the right decided to jam and took a little bit more work. Next up was this phone intercom system. Oops, I think I need to cut the power. And just finishing up the ends of the wires, giving them protection so I don't touch them. Well, that's all for today's video. In the next one, we'll be looking at how we capped off these water pipes and also working on the gate post. Thanks to everyone for watching. Please feel free to do the usual stuff for the YouTube algorithm if you feel like it.